So, oh my gosh, I just saw the new Star Wars movie, Star Wars The Last Jedi. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Basically, I will probably start spoiler free first. It feels like I was watching The Return of the Jedi. It's set up like The Return of the Jedi. And I have no idea what this series is going to go for the third one, because they just basically did all three of the first movies right then and there. So hopefully that this next movie is completely original. And a lot of stuff in the Return of the Jedi is really original. And free spoiler moment. So yeah, basically we start off similar to The Empire Strikes Back. The rebels are trying to run away. I mean, it's basically we just start up where we just left off in the first movie. The rebels were trying to flee their base, and Rey has finally conquered Skywalker. And oh my gosh, I predicted two outcomes: either that he's going to look at her and say, "What is this?" or "How did you get this?" or he's going to turn around and just totally disregard what she given him. And the second option is sure he threw the lightsaber away over his shoulder into the ocean. Oh my gosh. And that really does show how heartbroken he is over the how his Jedi, how everything happened with his temple there. And wow, I tried to predict this movie. I was trying to figure out how this movie's going to go. It's going to go like this. Exception of me figuring out that he's going to toss the saber away, I have not been able to predict anything else that's been going on in this movie at all. I was unable to. There was no way I'd be able to do it, because I can never done it once. Because a lot of the second half is basically the Return of the Jedi, where Ren occurs. A lot of it is with Rey, loosely learning what it means to be a Jedi, and I love how it's tactile. They set a lot of things straight. There was no midichlorians. He said all the things you heard about what it means to be a Jedi is just completely false, out of the window. All of that stuff. That's just beautiful. Excuse me. It was simply beautiful. So, and of course, while she was there on the island, she was also talking to Ren, and it was interesting. And oh my gosh, I have to say, Ren's cute, and and they were just talking to each other. They were just talking and she's trying to figure out the truth. There's two truths that she's trying to figure out. She figured out what the truth of her parents and the truth of what happened that day. And Ren told her that Luke grew afraid of Ben, and he tried to kill him, but there was regret. But he realized he's going to regret this. Luke hesitated. Luke completely hesitated, and Ben took it immediately the wrong way, even though it was Luke's intent. But Ren took it the other way and just went full dark side. And the question is there? And it turns out that story is indeed true, and it's just a really shocking moment. Me just seeing Luke Skywalker like that, but at the same time, it makes sense for the character, because Luke himself has dabbled in the dark side himself, so he's not really fully control of his emotions. And even though he's a master Jedi, and that whole scene when Ren took Rey to Snoke, whatever his name is, he's not that intimidating. I found the Emperor way more intimidating than this guy, and he's a lot like the Emperor. It's just, well, the Emperor's 2.0, he's 1, and Snoke is 1.0. There's not really much there. But oh my gosh, the one scene when Ren was ordered to kill Rey, and Snoke was describing what he saw in Ren's mind, but it's loose. It's like he's going to strike down his greatest enemy, and that scene was amazing, because it just threw it over the table. It's like, oh my gosh, is Ren actually finally going to turn to actually help Rey. And of course, Rey did say she saw the future that Ben's going to help her. And it turns out that is true. He did help her. He killed Snoke, but the problem is that she only saw part of the future, because he also saw the part of the future where he's going to have her join him instead, which basically he just went completely Darth Vader. And I was like, oh my gosh. And a lot of the lines are of that kind of line. And it's like, that's from the original Star Wars. I know that line. It got a little annoying that he started to sound exactly like Darth Vader. It's like, join me and we'll rule the galaxy. It's like, oh gosh, here we go. So I'm not saying Ren is not interesting anymore. It's just kind of it got me a little annoyed that he used those same lines. But other than that fight, the two were working together, and that fight was amazing. It was so awesome. It got the audience routed up. And oh my gosh, it's just so heart pounding in us thinking that Poe is right. The one lady's traitor, even though that's not the case. And just Poe is hilarious. He's adorable. He's just simply adorable. And they're like, I like that one. It's like, yeah, I know. He's stubborn. But and Leia, oh my gosh, I need to talk about that once. And there's was one other scene that does support Rey's point that they're so good in him. Is that when they're attacking, going to attack the rebel ship that they somehow chucked in light speed. That's actually amazing how they managed to do that. He hesitated. He was going to shoot, but he hesitated. Instead, his cohorts ended up shooting instead. And it was amazing. It was just simply amazing. And this next scene, I swear, it has to be Disney magic, because it got a little cheesy. Is that she has to be... How is she so tuned with the Force that she's able to withstand the vacuum of space and pull herself back into safety? And she ends up falling into a bit of a coma at the end there. It's just like I know I know she's able to use the Force, but never in my mind I will imagine her to be that in tune with the Force. But the ending is very, very Return of the Jedi. And of course it is leading on that there is going to be one more movie. Is this actually going to be the end of... And of course, Ben's thing is that he wants the past to die and move forward with the future. That's his idealistic. Well, Rey over here is saying it's like, at the same time, he's not letting go. Is he letting go of the past? Or is he focused on or is he focusing too much to forget the past? That's kind of that thing with him. Rey, she just wants him to come back and help to recreate balance in the Force, which of course now it's just those two. There is now a perfect balance in the Force, which is amazing. Which is absolutely amazing because it's never happened before. Never has happened, and it's just absolutely amazing. Because this is going to be really interesting, because there's always been the one who will bring balance to the Force. That is that stupid prophecy that we got in the sequel trilogy, and wow. I'm not even sure they're going to count that anymore. I don't know. I don't know that, because again, I was born in '94, so I have seen the original Star Wars movies before I saw the sequel trilogy. And that prophecy, even to this day, even though I say those movies are so bad, that they're bad, that prophecy still sticks with me because it's something unique. And they thought, oh, Anakin's will be the one, and they didn't train him right. And that was the fall of the Jedi. And Luke did the exact same thing. So, and of course, the theory is going on, it's an endless cycle, it's always going to happen, there's always going to be that strange imbalance. And Yoda's in it. Oh my gosh, Yoda. And he looks like a Muppet. Thank you. He looks like a Muppet with a CGI paint over it, whatever. He looks exactly like a Muppet. Oh my gosh, he looks like I could reach out and touch him. He looks exactly like his Muppet. Oh my gosh, I love it. And he's hilarious because there's this scene that Luke's going to burn the first and last remnants of the Jedi, and Luke hesitates. And then Yoda, he's just so lightning from the sky, strikes the tree, and it bursts into flames. And Luke was just wanting to try and save that stuff, but he couldn't. And Yoda's just sitting over the corner giggling his ass off. It was amazing. And what did he say? He was criticizing Luke for still looking into the horizon, and it was the exact same thing. What Yoda told Luke in The Empire Strikes Back. He's like, you still look towards the horizon. He's like, you don't need these things to teach the new Jedi Order. And he goes on to say, it's good to teach strength, it's good to teach wisdom, it's good to teach all these things, but it's also good to teach failure. And that is amazing here, and that's another amazing motivational quote from Yoda, because Yoda's amazing, as always. And it was so good to see Yoda come back. And I was kind of hoping we'd see Obi-Wan Kenobi to return, but I don't think that's probably going to happen, unfortunately. I would love to see Obi-Wan Kenobi come back, because I love Obi-Wan Kenobi, he's my fave. Other than that, this movie is amazing. I would say 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 mainly because I have a few problems with it. What was one problem? There was a few cheesy moments. That one moment with Princess Leia was a little weird. The sudden romance was sudden romance. The whole overarching arc of them trying to, because there was also another subplot where Poe thinks that whoever assumed command is a traitor and is part of the First Order, and it's shown proof that she is not, and she does. It's so amazing. I can't say anything about it. It's the most beautiful. It's the most beautifulest thing I've seen on screen ever. And I can't really say anything about it. That is one scene you gotta see in theaters. Because it's just beautiful. Oh my gosh, it's just the most beautiful thing I ever seen. But that's the one big problem there. I kind of wish they didn't have that subplot. It's kind of a little unnecessary because they do end up getting on the ship and try to disable the tracker where they're attracted from hyperspace. And they could keep that plot line where that Thief was actually a traitor and tells them everything, which makes sense. They realize that there are shuttles leaving. They see the shuttles actually leaving the ship, and figures out, oh no, and of course the big ship starts moving, because that whole subplot with Poe was kind of pointless. I wish it's more of a survival thing, wondering, are they ever going to make it? Things may get a little high-rised, and that can make sense out of Poe, who wants to fight while he's forced to sit down and wait, and they could have took that. She could have took that risk. It kind of makes sense, and let them take that risk. That whole subplot, that one, thanks to that subplot, is a 9 out of 10 because it's just really pointless. It doesn't really lead to anywhere besides maybe some character development for Poe. 9 out of 10. I don't like getting 8s. It's a little bit better than the 8s. It's a really good movie. I highly recommend it, especially after you've seen The Force Awakens and you want to see an honest, true good sequel to the original Star Wars trilogy that the prequels that have made left you dry. Just warning you, it does feel a lot like the combination of The Empire Strikes Back and The Return of the Jedi. So hopefully they ran out of movies to try to copy. And we'll hopefully get a really fun, original next movie. And the ending, the very ending, the last few minutes before the rolling credits, I can't say anything about that either. It's so cute. I love it a lot. I kind of hope it plays into something, because it's just amazing. Because it's just amazing, especially for the child audience actually seeing that. Because simply put, it is not about midichlorians, it's about your will to do it. So, see this movie, have fun, get ready for a sit for 2 hours and a half. Luckily I sat in a theater that doesn't have bad seats.